Hey guys, Jared here, Magnetic Men's Club. This video is going to be a little bit of a response video to an email that I got from a client. And it was such a good email, and I almost figured that, you know, maybe some other people are going through this. Maybe some other people have some guilt associated around this particular topic. So I figured I would expand a little bit on the email that I sent him and create a video post about this. And this came about, this individual sent me a message, and it was largely around, he's been in a committed relationship for years, three years going on 4, loves his girlfriend. They're not married yet. They are engaged. They do have a child together. Loves his girlfriend, fiance, whatever you want to call it, and is committed to her. However, there have been some instances or circumstances recently where he has found another female attractive, and he's feeling a little guilty about it, and he's feeling a certain way about it, and he doesn't understand why. If his girlfriend is so perfect, why is he finding this other girl attractive? And so he wanted my opinion or my take on this. And so without reading the email I sent him, I'm going to paraphrase that email and kind of tell you guys, this is normal. This is biological. You're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. This also goes for females. If a female is in a committed relationship with her husband or long-term relationship with a man, and she happens to find another man attractive, it's just biology. It's fine. It's not the world, it's an emotion. And like all feelings, all emotions are feelings, and just like waves, they come and go. What's not okay is succumbing to those feelings. Of course, we're not here talking about cheating. There's 3 things in a relationship that you can't commit to because you have very little control of them. And the very first one is your thoughts. Yes, you can control your thoughts to a degree, but have you ever just sat still and you had these wild thoughts come up and then they just go away? Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. For the most part, our thoughts come and go into our lives, into our brains, into our thinking, into the situation we're in, and then they leave us. It's just a thought. It's okay. The other thing that you really can't control are your perceptions. And you can't control your feelings. One day you might be mad, one day you might be sad, one day you might be pissed, and if you're a woman, you can have these emotions, these feelings 30 different times a day, all in the same minute, for Christ's sake. So you can't control these things. So these 3 things you can't, nor you should, commit to. You can't commit to your partner that you're only going to think about them, him or her. You can't or you shouldn't commit that your feelings to your partner are always going to be pure. They're always going to be magical and rainbows and sunshine. You can't. And you can't commit your own perceptions that have been built into you by your own programming through society on what your partner wants. Meaning, you can't take your self-perception of yourself or your perception of an idea and make your partner have that same perception. We all see things through our own experiences. So nor you can have these things, nor should you commit to these things. The only thing that you should commit to in a relationship is your actions. So for an example, this guy just found recently, which I'm not so sure that's true, but for the sake of argument, he finds other women that he runs into attractive. He's even had thoughts of fucking them. Well, congratulations, dude, you're a guy. That's completely fine. What's not fine, obviously, you can have the thought, you can have the feeling, you can have the perception. You don't get to have the action. The action causes cheating, which hurts your partner. Do you see what I'm saying here? We all have thoughts. We all have feelings. They come and go. It's fine. Now, would you want to admit this to your partner? Of course not. But see, some things are better left unsaid. If you're walking with your girlfriend and you happen to look at a pretty girl and she asks you, oh, is she prettier than me? For me, personally, I would rather be honest with my partner than lie to them about the situation, because what that does is I'm suppressing my feelings, I'm suppressing my desires, which actually hurts my partner. So if I'm walking down the street and I just happen to see a pretty girl and my girlfriend says, is she prettier than me? I would honestly say, well, that's relative. The relativity is she has certain attributes that you don't, that I find attractive, and that's okay. But of all the beautiful women I've dated, of all the women that I see in my life, my action is I still choose to be with you. I'm committed to you. Do you see? That's where it should be. Who cares what I'm thinking? Who cares that I said, oh my God, she's got a great set of tits in my head? It doesn't matter what the thought is I'm not committing an act to cheat on my girlfriend. This is where people get hung up on. They get hung up on not having permission to have your own thoughts, to have your own feelings, and to have your own perceptions. You think that just because you're in a committed relationship, that's the end of the story. You should only have eyes for this girl, or you should only have eyes for this guy. And anything that deviates from that, there's something wrong with you, or there's something wrong with the relationship. That's simply bullshit. It simply is not true. Two things can be true at once. I can love my wife, I can love my girlfriend, and I can think that girl is hot. They're both true. Women, you can love your husband, you can love your boyfriend, and think Brad Pitt or that guy walking down the street is fucking hot. Both are true. Don't succumb or don't come to the fact in your emotions that they're dirty by having these thoughts. They're not. You know what's actually worse is suppressing these. If you suppress anything, they control you. Let me say that again. If you suppress any thought, that thought now controls you, because you don't give that thought that ability to shine a little bit, to understand it, to appreciate that thought so that it can freely go. I'll give you an example. Beautiful girl happens to walk down past me and she smirks and winks. I don't fucking know what she does. My girlfriend's not with me, but I can do two things. I can feel bad that some other girl finds me attractive. I can feel bad that I was receptive of that wink. I smiled back. I can feel bad that I found her attractive. I can even feel bad that I want to fuck her brains out in my mind. I can always feel bad about all those things, right? Or I can choose to appreciate her beauty. I can choose to appreciate for that quick moment we just exchanged a wink or whatever the hell it was. I can allow it to work through me. I can then appreciate my girlfriend and say, you know what? She is gorgeous, but man, what do I have? I have a beautiful woman at home, kids, whatever. You're allowed, because when you allow that emotion to work through you and you're allowed to have that emotion come out of you and not suppress it, now you have power over that emotion. You can let it go and just appreciate the moment for what it was. A lot of people will suppress that emotion, especially guys. Here's the playbook guys do. They'll suppress that emotion and they get in a fight with their girlfriend. It could be the next day, the next week, and then they start dwelling on that girl who winked at them or who smiled at them. And then they start fantasizing about that girl. And the reason why they did is they suppressed the emotion down. They felt guilt about having that emotion. And now they're mad at their girlfriend, and now they feel pulled to this avatar, this person that doesn't really even exist. You don't know anything about her. And you start fantasizing and saying, you know, my life would be so much better with her. She was so much hotter than my girlfriend. I bet you she's going to be amazing in bed. And so what do? You start fantasizing. And the more you fantasize about somebody who you know nothing about, once you start fantasizing, you start going down this rabbit hole, you start creating resentment on the actual person that's here. Because you have no control. You didn't control that emotion. You didn't let that emotion wash through you, work through you so that you could allow it. You suppressed it and you pushed it down. You thought it was dirty. Oh, I shouldn't be even thinking about this thing. My girlfriend, oh, she would never do this. That's a lie. Women think about good-looking men just as much as we think about good-looking girls. It's fine. It's inevitable. There's 8 billion people on this earth. Half of them are guys. The odds of your girlfriend or wife walking past a very attractive guy or a guy she finds attractive, that's really the key to it, is really good. Likewise, there's 4 billion women. Fact that you could be walking down the street or in the mall or at work or whatever and you come across an attractive woman is very good. Don't let the biological imperative that you have, that wiring that you have, don't suppress that. It's only going to make your own relationship with your girlfriend or boyfriend worse. Like I said, the only thing you can control in a relationship is an action. What you physically do. So when you suppress these feelings, when you suppress this guilt or this behavior, and you feel like it's wrong, I shouldn't be thinking these things. I shouldn't even be smiling if this girl smiled at me. When you suppress all this down, most of the time the guys that do this, they'll eventually succumb to that urge because they didn't free it. Another thing that can happen is if you keep suppressing this, this is what typically happens with the secretary fucking the boss in the closet or the boss banging somebody in the closet. They just don't know what happened. They just all of a sudden are naked and fucking each other because they've suppressed their sexual energies for so long thinking it's dirty that now their body is almost having to wash itself. It has to get it out because it's been pushed down and now you have all this guilt for doing it. To me, that's not a good way to live. It's better to live in the truth of what we are. We are sexual beings. It is okay. And just understanding the rules around that. I don't want you guys to wake up one day frustrated and pissed off looking at your girlfriend or girls looking at your husband and wondering, do you remember when we used to be so in love and all the good days have washed past you? That's just not true. You're choosing to love your partner in a different way. But you can absolutely love them again the way you used to. And a lot of this stems around that suppression that you have of this sexual energy that we have for other people. And you suppress it down long enough, it starts almost numbing you. It starts numbing all your other senses and starts eating away at you till you become a shadow of the person you used to be. So what I want you to do is if there is a pretty girl, if there is a good looking guy, you don't have to tell your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You can just appreciate the fact of their beauty, maybe their masculinity, whatever it is. Appreciate it. Thank the feeling. Thank yourself for allowing that feeling to come through, and then it freely passes just like any emotion. Just like a wave. It came in and it came out. Your partner's not hurt about it. You're not hurt about it. You're able to better calibrate your own life, your own sexuality that way than suppressing it down. People who suppress their sexuality are generally very violent to themselves. They create this violence within themselves that they're not lovable, that they shouldn't have these thoughts, that they're unpure thoughts. And that's just simply not the case. So with that, my name is Jared Schoonmaker. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment down below. Hit the like, hit that bell icon so you know when new videos are being dropped. And if you want some coaching around this or a specific one-on-one coaching style, go to our website. Link is down below. We could get that call set up for you. With that, have a great day. We'll talk soon.